Hey, this is Edward Stevens with the Stevens Group at Reese Nichols. It's a very late night. Thanks for joining me or watching this on the replay. It's always a pleasure to connect with you guys. And before we get started, I just want to let you know that if you do want me to do a video on a particular topic, please shoot me a message. Just DM me on whatever platform. And you can drop it in the comments, but it'll be easier if you just DM me because I'll get a notification sooner. And then I will do my best to take you up on it. So there's a lot of things that I've learned and a lot of paths I've taken as I've become a real estate agent and become a real estate broker and become a homeowner. And this video that I'm making for you right now is really for anybody out there who is thinking about becoming a homeowner but isn't 100% sold on it. Or maybe you take this video and you can share it with somebody who you think should be a homeowner but isn't yet. It could be your best friend, it could be a relative, it could be your son or daughter, your stepson, your stepdaughter. I want to talk to you about the 3 big benefits to being a homeowner that are in my opinion, the ones that we don't talk about very often. And so the very first benefit that's rarely talked about becoming a homeowner is the increase in your awareness and the increase in your level of responsibility as an adult. The financial awareness that you gain by being a homeowner is something that you can transfer to other facets of your life. When you rent a home, you don't have to worry about the maintenance of the home. You don't have to worry about paying a mortgage. You don't have to worry about taxes. You don't have to worry about a number of things. When you become a homeowner and you have to balance all of these different aspects, you become more responsible. And that is tremendously important if you're running a business or if you manage people or if you want to do something else that's more complicated in life. Like, this is a really good place to start. This is a really good place to practice, is owning a home. When you own a home, you have to budget. When you own a home, you have to think about taxes. You have to have more of an awareness about taxes. What are taxes? What are my taxes going to look like? How are my taxes going to change because I'm a homeowner, because I have a mortgage? I'm going to become more aware of my local taxes on me, as you know, because I'm a homeowner, whereas if I was renting, I wasn't so concerned about that sort of thing. I have to have more reserves. I have to manage my financial reserves in case my air conditioner goes out, in case my roof, leaks, or in case my basement floods or something like that. You have to have your reserves set aside. You have to understand and manage your cash flow better. And that is something that is going to increase your level of responsibility. If you're younger, it'll help you, just overall in your adult life. But it's a really good place to start. I feel more confident as a business owner, especially when I was very first getting started, because I already had owned a home and I already knew a little bit more than the average renter about cash flow and about those various things. So that's number one. The responsibility and the financial education is number one. Number 2 is regarding inflation. Inflation's a word we hear in the news a lot right now, but honestly, inflation's been happening for a very long time. And in my own definition, in the definition of people that I've read, inflation is just an increase in the money supply. They make more dollars. Everybody's dollars are worth less than they were before. When you have this phenomenon going on, the price of food goes up. The number of dollars that it takes to buy a loaf of bread goes up. The number of dollars that it takes to buy a gallon of gas or to buy a car or to buy anything tends to go up. The cost of rent also tends to go up. When you buy a home and you buy it at a fixed price and you live in it, you are hedging against inflation. When you buy your home with your 30-year mortgage, for the most part, your mortgage may change a little bit just because taxes, but most people who are buying a home and they're taking out a fixed rate 30-year loan, they have a hedge. You would have a hedge against inflation. As the government continues to print, as the Fed continues to print more money, it doesn't matter in terms of the cost of you living in that house, the ownership of that house. Your utilities may go up, but your utilities could have gone up as a renter, okay? But the big thing that's not going to go up is your monthly payment, because unlike when you're a renter, your landlord can just increase it. Well, that's not really the case when you own a home. So you're hedged against that inflation, and it allows you to take that money when everybody else is kind of on that hamster wheel running every single month trying to like make enough money to pay rent. It gives you an opportunity for once in your life to get ahead so you can save more money, or you can get some of that money set aside to invest. And that is huge for you being able to do whatever it is you want to ultimately do. Hedge against inflation, number 2. Number 3, and this is my final one, is that real estate is collateral in the eyes of banks. And as we become a society that's very prone to taking debt, we need to have collateral. As Americans, we have to have collateral. We have to have something, in other words, to borrow against. Something real, something worth something to a bank. And I'll tell you a real life example of why this might be important to you. Let's say you wanted to get rid of some high interest credit cards. Maybe you were down on your luck for a while. You had to use a whole bunch of credit cards, and the interest payments and everything are out of control. You're paying 16, 17% interest, and it's not going away. It's just getting worse. Well, you could actually, if you were a homeowner and you had sufficient, if your home was worth enough money and you didn't owe too much on it, you could actually go to a bank, and in many cases, you could borrow the money to pay off your high interest credit cards, and the money would be lent to you by the lender at a relatively low interest rate. That's huge. That is a game changer. That is a life hack that a lot of people don't talk about. How many times I know I have been in situations, I don't really use credit cards right now, but there have been times, when I was in my early 20s and my late teens where I was using credit cards, and it was something that's really easy to get kind of out of control. So having real estate could have helped me back then. Okay, it didn't. I didn't own a home until my mid 20s, and by then I didn't have I didn't have the same credit card issue that I had then. But that is one example. Think about another example. For example, you have a hospital bill. You have a hospital bill you're trying to pay off, and again, interest rates out of control. You can go to the bank and you could take a loan against your home at a pretty low interest rate to pay off your medical bill. Okay? The reason why this is because banks trust real estate. They know that real estate is valuable. They know it has intrinsic value. And so you should think like a bank in this regard. And hopefully, if you can buy a home, you can capture all 3 of those benefits. And let me know if you have any additional ones that you want to drop here. I just tried to drop the 3 that were kind of on the top of my head that like people don't talk about all the time. But certainly drop any more in the comments. It's Edward Stevens with the Stevens Group at Reese Nichols. Look forward to seeing you, yes, you, getting out of being a renter, getting into being a homeowner, and one day seeing you at the closing table. Talk to you later. Have a good night.